Yes, bete. So, epigraphy. What is epigraphy? It is the study of inscriptions. Whenever we are studying these inscription, that is known as epigraphy. So, Princip and Piyadasi. Who is Princip and who is Piyadasi? Both are persons. Piyadasi is a great king Ashok. Ashok's another name is Piyadasi, and Princip is a historian. So let me explain. Some of the most momentum developments in Indian epigraphy took place in the 1830s. Means there was a development in epigraphy field. People started to read inscriptions during 1830s. This was when James Prince is epigraphic, who was interested in Indian history and he wanted to know about it. That's why he started to read about the various inscriptions which he has found. Even he read about the coins, monuments, buildings, any material which he has got, he started to read out, started to read it, and he um, let me explain. He was a James Prince was an officer in the mint of the East Indian Company, where coins are minted. That is termed as a mint department, and he was the officer here. And he read Brahmin and Kharosthi. Both are the languages which were used during Ashokan era. During Ashokan's rule, uh, he was able, he has the ability to read these two languages. Means he understood what is written in Brahmani and Kharosthi. Means they were the two scripts used in the earliest inscriptions. The inscriptions which were written during Ashokan era and they were written in Kharosthi as well as a Brahmini language. These inscriptions were understood by an officer who was James Princip. He found that, but he found that most of these mentioned a king referred as Piyadasi. Means most of these inscriptions has a mentioned a name of a king that is known as Piyadasi. And what's the meaning of Piyadasi? Piyadasi means a king. His name that is Piyadasi, and it means प्लीजेंट टू behold. किसी चीज को पकड़ के रखने में खुशी होती है, इसका अर्थ ये है पियदसी मीन इट्स अनदर नेम गिवन टू अशोका by the people due to regard respect. There were a few inscriptions which also let me show you another page. Yes, yes bete, the referred some inscriptions also refer to the king as Ashoka, one of the most famous ruler known from Buddhist texts. During Ashoka's rule, a religion was flourished in India that is known as Buddhism. And in Buddhism, people were very scholars. Those who were Bodhi, nuns, monk, they were well educated and they wrote a large number of books. By reading these books, we came to know about Ashokan rule, Ashoka's era. We come to know about a famous king that was known as Piyadasi. Among its public, and he is known as Ashoka. Means he has two names, more than two names, but one and the same thing, Natho and Prem Singh. But person is same. He is known as Ashok or he is known as Priyadasi. It's your wish to consider any name. Uh, Due to regard, he was known as a Priyadasi. Means we are talking about Ashok's rule during Buddhist religions flourish or popularity. All these things are mentioned in the text of Bodhi religion. Yes, but this gave a new direction to the investigation into early Indian political history as European and Indian scholars used inscription and text composed in a variety of languages to reconstruct the lineage of the major dynasties that had ruled the subcontinent. Keep in mind, these inscriptions or texts are written into various languages, not only one language. Even now in India, we have more than 1600 languages which are spoken by Indian people. Same was there. People were using various languages like Kharoshti, like Brahmani, and I think officially the orders which are passed by Ashok or a king, they were Kharoshti and a Brahmani language, which was read by Princip or James Princip. He was a historian. He was interested in Indian history. So, Indian political history was read by the European as well as Indian scholars with the by giving importance to the inscription and text which were written in various languages to know about the kingdoms and kings who were the rulers of the subcontinent. As a result, the broad contours of political history were in peace by the early decades of the 20th century. Means what happened? There was a lot of research regarding the Indian history. Subsequently, scholars began to shift their focus to the text of political history, investigating whether there were connection between political changes and economic and social development. Definitely, there is a big link between economy, polity, as well as society. If our economy is strong, definitely, if our polity means our king is strong, our economy as well as society will be strong. If our king is not good, our leader who is leading us, who is leading the public, is not able to take good decision, definitely the life of people that is in the form of society or economy will be affected, will be go down, नीचे जाएगी. We are seeing in a present scenario what is going on. Our leaders are not taking proper decisions. They are corrupt. They are not leading with honesty, with dedication. And what is going on? It's a very shameful act to accept that. In Punjab, we have 22 districts, and out of 22 districts, 18 districts are not having any ICU. That is told by Times of India, a newspaper. उसने बताया कि जो पंजाब के 22 जिले हैं उसमें से 18 जिलों के पास कोई आईसीयू वार्ड नहीं है. कितना जरूरी है आईसीयू. तो इस कोविड महामारी के दौरान देखो, वी आर नॉट हैविंग प्रॉपर अरेंजमेंट्स, वी आर नॉट हैविंग बेड्स, वी आर नॉट हैविंग डॉक्टर्स, वी आर नॉट हैविंग good hospitals. Infrastructure is totally downtrodden. People are dying. What it is? It is due to the low quality leadership. Otherwise, consider the time period when there was war with China as well as in Pakistan. During Lal Bahadur Shastri, that time when we are fighting war against Pakistan, that time there was shortage of food in India. And that time Lal Bahadur Shastri suggested people to have a fast on Monday to save food, and the people obeyed their leader sincerely, honestly. Every Monday, all the shops, all the things which are eatable goods totally closed. People were dedicated because of good leadership qualities were there in Lal Bahadur Shastri. So, bete, Whenever there is a we have strong leader, definitely our economy as well as society will be strong, or have strong, had strong. These are the examples lying in history. So, through investigation, the scholars want to know that there is any connection between political changes, economy, as well as social developments. And it was soon realized that while there were links, these were not always simple or direct. And one more topic which I'm going to tell you about: inscriptions. What are inscriptions? Big question. Inscriptions are writings engraved on hard surfaces such as stone, metal, or pottery. They usually record the achievements, activities, or ideas of those who commissioned them. Commissioned means जो पैसा देते थे लेखकों को लिखने के लिए कि हमारे लिए इंस्क्रिप्शन लिखो. Commissioned them and include the exploits of king. पैसा देके राइटर्स से लिखवाते थे, डोनेशन देते, दान देते थे. और डोनेशन मेड बाय वुमेन, वुमेन्स भी हमें जो लोगों को दान देती है, ब्राह्मणों को स्पेशली. एंड वी हैव प्रूफ्स ऑफ दीज थिंग एंड मेन टू रिलीजियस इंस्टीट्यूशन. आजकल भी हम डोनेट करते हैं. Or you have seen example in Gurdwara Mandir. Suppose you have donated a fan, and on the fan your name, your address, your father name will be mentioned, engraved. What it is? It is inscription, permanent inscription. Whenever we will want to read about who donated it, we can read the things which are mentioned on the fan. समझ आ गई ना आपको? So inscriptions are virtually permanent records. They are permanent records, some of which carry dates, and some have dates, and some are without dates. Others are dated on the basis of paleography or styles of writing. We ourselves found their date. If dates are not mentioned on inscription, then our historians or our scholars found the date, in which date these inscriptions were written. Uh, with a fair amount of precision. Precision means accuracy. For instance, in C 2000, 250 BC. What is 250 BC? We have seen that letter A is written like a K. You are seeing this is A is written like this. In 500 CE Common Era, A was written like this. This one means through these symbols we come to know when this inscription was written. The earliest inscriptions were in Prakriti. Which language was used? Prakriti language, a name for language used by ordinary people. And this is the language of ordinary common people. Names of rulers such as Ajat and Ashok, known from Prakritic text and inscriptions, have been spelled in their Prakritic forms in this chapter. We came to know about the Ajat and Ashoka. Um, in various inscriptions which are written during their era, their rule. You will also find terms in language such as Pali language, which was the languages of Bodhi people, Tamil language. In Tamil, a lot of literature and large number of books were written. Sanskrit language, the language of Brahmin people, which two were used to write inscription and text. Our Rig Veda is written in Sanskrit language. It is possible that people spoke in other languages as well, even though these were not used for writing. Our Mahabharata, our Ramayana, our Purans, all these religious books are written in Sanskrit language. So I think this is clear. If you have any doubt, you can ask.